Been a long season in the BSR Formula Renault series, but it all comes down to this tonight. We have the finale from the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit here on Apex Racing TV. A very warm welcome, everybody. I'm Andrew Woodhouse, as I've been all season, and as he has been all season, Alex Simpson. Hello, mate.
Yeah, hello everybody. Good to be here. It has been a long season, but we are here, the final round of the season at Brands Hatch, the GP circuit. Actually, Andrew, I think this is a perfect track for us to finish up. I know it went to a bit of a pole, and I was quite surprised to see this circuit come out on top. Actually, I thought some of the bigger tracks like the Nordschleife for that might have won out in the end, but yeah, brilliant that it's this circuit. Very good for racing. The Renault fits this circuit really well.
I'm glad that this did win, because we had the British Touring Car finale as well the weekend, and that was some fantastic racing there. It's a great track to drive, it's a lot of fun, and it's got a lot of history as well. And Jack Keithley, Alex, well, he's got it all in his it's all in his corner, isn't it? And needs to really make sure he gets to the end of these races tonight, doesn't he?
Yeah, we were talking off air really what he needs to do. You know, he could go out there and just do the bare minimum to win, which would be just start from the pit lane and finish every race. You know, that's it. That's all he needs to do to win this championship. Now, obviously, Martin will hope that he gets involved. It's the only chance he could possibly have, really, of snatching this title away from Keithley. He'll need Jack to have. Well, we think he needs to have 2 DNFs to make it happen.
I think if he has one,
yeah,
I think it could potentially be. It would still be about 25 points. I think it's 155 points is the lead for Jack Keithley at the moment.
Just with the amount of cars that we have, there's just not enough of a margin, is there, to catch up? That's the disadvantage of obviously the smaller grid at the moment with the point system how it is. So yeah, so we are looking.
You finished
at
last. You're only finishing 14th, so you're only losing about 20 points. I think it is.
Yeah, so it's it's going to require 2, so we'll have to see there. So all Martin really can do is go out there and win 4 races. That's his job for tonight. And yeah, Jack, he just needs to go out there and make sure he finishes 3 races. If he does that, then I think he'll bring home the championship. So definitely Jack's to lose.
Now, we do have 4 championship contenders in the AM category. I think technically we have 5, but Josh Thompson would need an apocalypse, to be honest, to win the title. So you've got 207 points separating the top 4. Jos Honig is in 4th, Roy Verke 3rd. He's 140 points behind. 43 points is the margin that Paul Denton has to make up on our leader, Stephen Baxter. And 43 points, Alex, well, that's a tall order in itself. 1 DNF, I believe, is what Denton will be looking for.
I don't even
Not for
think
himself,
Paul's
for
looking.
Baxter, that is.
Yeah, I don't think Paul's looking for a DNF. Actually, I think he could do it if he has like some podiums and Baxter's
he
always
needs to win races. I think.
Yeah, I think he's gonna. Yeah. You're right. He's gonna need to be right at the front, and Baxter's gonna need to be right at the back to get there on points. So,
it can be done. You're right. It's technically possible, but it's very unlikely.
But really, if Baxter gets a DNF, well, then it swings the other way around completely. So, again, both drivers are probably going to be doing their best to make sure they get four finishes there and put the pressure on their competitor. But Roy Verke as well, Roy right in that mix for Pro Sim, not for Faker. 140 points. He has had a solid showdown, really, and he's just been steadily putting in those points, and that's why he's still there. Only 140 points. Baxter and Denton have had DNFs in there, so you know
that's less than the gap between Keithley and Van Loozenhout. So
yeah, he could win this tonight if those guys get together, or someone else gets together with them, and there's a couple of DNFs or something like that. You know, for Verke could walk away with the AM championship here.
He's always smiling as the Belgian driver, and he'll be smiling ear to ear if he can take the title here tonight. Just 30 seconds before we go to the grid then at Brands Hatch, just a little bit about the track. 3.7 kilometres, only 9 corners, so it seems simple on the face of it, but a lot of difficulty, Alex, a lot of undulation, camber changes, and the walls and the grass and the gravel lurking very, very close to the circuit edge.
Old school circuit, isn't it? You know, the sort of
like Watkins, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. It's a circuit you grew up loving racing with. It rewards people who push the cars to the limits, and penalises the ones that just go that tiny little bit over, unlike modern day circuits.
A great circuit to drive, and Brands Hatch is a great venue for the final rounds of the season. Let's take a look then at the grid for round 137 of the iRacing MSA British Sim Racers Formula Renault Championship. Martin van Loozenhoorn takes pole, as he has so often this season, half a second clear of Jack Keithley. Josh Thompson is third, with Stephen Baxter in fourth and Stelian Chepelevsky in fifth. Then moving down the order, we see Rafe Cullinan up in sixth. That's a good qualifying from him. Paul Denton in P7, David Waldock 8th, 9th Yannick Ongen, 10th Kip Stevens, Tom Depke in 11th, Jos Honig 12th, Alex Smolensky 13th, and Roy Viverke. Actually, no qualifying time for him, Alex. I wonder if he was banned from the proceedings.
Yeah, possibly, or maybe just going to start from the pits. One thing I also want to touch before they get going as well is the team standings as well. So Faker SimSport wrapped up. They are champions. Nothing can do that. Apex second place. CQR Club obviously forfeited their third position because they didn't enter anybody into the showdown. So that pot will go to a raffle prize. But and then it's ProSim and Apex Academy for the AM Championship, and those guys are locked in as well.
Green light's on already. About 30 seconds early.
Yeah.
We're away for the Knights Racing, and Martin van Loozenhoorn then into Paddock Hill Bend. Jack Keithley absolutely flies out of the way of Josh Thompson. Thompson goes through into second place. Up the inside is Stephen Baxter. Also for Faker SimSport, Jack Keithley needs to be careful here, because any contact could end his race early and bring Martin van Loozenhoorn back into the championship. Van Loozenhoorn then from Thompson, from Keithley, Baxter in fourth. Fifth is Stelian Chepelevsky, and Baxter is all over Keithley at the moment. Keithley needs to be careful and just avoid contact really at all costs. Paul Denton is desperately chasing after Stephen Baxter, but he's 2 positions behind him. Stelian Chepelevsky is between them.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to other people, isn't it, tonight? I think, the likes of Baxter, Keithley, they're just going to be like on the radio, just going, steady, make sure we don't contact each other. Faker got the chance to win both of those titles, as well as the overall team championships that they've wrapped up, so not going to want to throw anything away. It makes sense for Jack to let Keithley go.
Jos Honig
Thompson.
Jos Honig going slowly, Kip Stevens going slowly, and I'm not really sure what's gone on there, but Honig's going to get past the former British Sim Racers touring car champion 2 times, of course, and he thought he was going to get through, but he backs off Honig. And Honig's racing's been a little bit odd the last few weeks, hasn't it? It was a bit odd at Bathurst, wasn't it, as well, last week. As we've got Yannick Ongen having a look at David Waldock into Druids Bend. Waldock goes very, very wide. He will get the run out of the corner. And Ongen has to get out of it, as that was quite close to some contact. I'm hoping, Alex, we are going to get some excitement tonight. Although the championship standings kind of lead us to believe that the guys are going to be taking it quite easy out there, and I don't blame them either, if I'm brutally honest.
Yeah, I think you're right. Where we are with the championship standings, it's just everything is still on the line, as here comes Ongener and Waldock. Obviously, these two have nothing to lose out there, so they will have fights. I think this is where we will see the battles tonight, in and around this area. Cullinan just ahead of them. And you've got Tom Depke as well. Depke's pretty much locked in for third place in the Pro Championship as well. Great job from him. He'll be delighted with that. And the funny story with Tom, he wasn't going to do the showdown. I had to twist his arm to to do it. So, and here he is going to get the podium out of
end up with some money,
the Pro
isn't he?
Championship. Yeah, so awesome stuff.
End up with a decent amount of.
The man who had no luck all season long.
Yeah, and again, things like that do indeed happen. I'll tell you that we've had 61 drivers scoring points this season in this championship, which is quite a substantial amount, really. And
there was a lot of drivers take part in this, and there was a lot of people that started this season off and there was different issues that went on.
It's a shame that that
yeah,
happened,
we won't go in that, and
Oh no.
drivers didn't give each other enough time just to get to know one another on the circuit, how everyone drives, and that's the thing with league racing. Have to bed in and just get used to people a little bit. And lots of personalities were flying around earlier on, and we lost quite a few people, which was a shame.
Well, I've managed to finish 46th in the championship, which it's not really my finest hour, I have to say, but it's
better than me.
It's something. 15 places higher than the bottom at least.
The thing that really sort of gets to me is I was due to run this series. I'm gutted that I hadn't I sort of stepped away to do the broadcast, because I would have definitely.
You didn't have a lot of choice though, really, unfortunately.
Well, no, it was either that or no one was going to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I would have liked to have thought I'd have been in there with a shout going into this race tonight, but yeah, alas, it wasn't to be. I'd have certainly been racing every week. So
I'm sure there'll be some other ones, mate, that you can put what you're made of in. I'm sure. Yeah, it's a tough one, really, unfortunately. But lots of things have happened this season. It started all the way back in was it January, February time, I believe, and yeah, a lot's gone on. Just a quick update, as like I said, the racing is very tame here at the moment, I have to say. Martin van Loosen 1.7 seconds clear of Josh Thompson, who in the second half of the season has showed a lot of improved pace, not so much improved racecraft, but we'll leave it at that. Jack Keighley in third place, 2 seconds behind him, then Steve Baxter, Cheppy in fifth, Denton, Cullen and Ongena, Depker, Waldock, Smolenski, Honig, Stevens and Wawerke making up the field. Just a couple of stats, since I've got the stats page out. So I can tell you that Martin van Loosenhoorn, bear in mind he's missed 3 meetings as well. He's had 61 wins. Out of 124 starts, he's won 61 races, Alex.
Yeah, none too shabby.
Although I have to say, definitely if you were there, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have won 61 races. He would have done a lot of those other races. Maybe he would have won quite a few race ones, I would have said that, but maybe the other races, I don't think he would have necessarily got a lot of them. 84 podiums.
Someone's in the wall.
Who is it?
It's Rafe Cullinan.
Oh no. Well, at least
see how some action. Thanks, Rafe.
Unfortunately, well, fortunately for the rest of them, oh dear, Cullinan's one of the few drivers who actually doesn't really have an awful lot to play for tonight, and so he's not going to be. I think he's going to give up on that one. He toes back to the pits. No fast repair, of course, here, so that's his race run, and I think that's kind of a symptom of it. Alex really won a mistake. He lost quite a lot of time and kind of thought, well, what's the point of continuing? Which, yeah, at this point in the season, he's 6th in the AM category. He's not going to go anywhere really in that. So, kind of see that. Other wins, other drivers who've taken wins this season. Samuel Lebert's taken 12 victories. Graham Carroll's done 11 victories. Peter Berryman 10. Jack Keighley 9. Josh Thompson's won 7 times. Ken Bullock-Bassey 5 times. 4 wins for Stephen Baxter. And then 2 each for Paul Denton and Yannick Ongena. And then other victors in the season: Jos Honig, John McHutchinson, René Osterkamp, Antoine Higelin, Pascal Sturgis, George Lee Wright won one.
Oh no, someone else is into the wall. Same place as well.
Who is it?
Depker.
Oh, Tom. Well,
he's still away. I think he's done exactly the same thing. I'm going to look at it back on replay.
On the inside.
Apologies, as our you haven't heard that for a little while, have you? R2 in the background, but
I didn't hear it at all.
Oh, you didn't? Yeah, he's back.
Oh, it's just a spin, and I don't think he hit anything. You know, he might have got away with that. He might have got away with that hitting the barrier. Nice little spin turn, I have to say. He's in the grass for.
Yeah, he just about got it stopped before he hit the barrier.
Nice little spin turn, mate, I have to say. There's not a lot of space to get that done. That's a nice recovery. He's now with Kip Stevens. And Stevens, come through. Not even remotely.
Smolenski, that looks like a pretty decent little battle.
Oh, good. There
so
might be
close.
a chance of something happening here then. Smolenski up the inside. Late on the brakes into Druids. Waldock all the way around the outside. Is he going to get that overlap into Graham Hill? But what traction off the corner he got there. Waldock. Oh, and that's very close. Smolenski. Brilliant judgment. Makes the cutback. He's on the inside for Surtees here. Waldock's going to try all the way around the outside. It can be done there. He's now going to have to pick up the slipstream. Should we go on board, maybe? No, we won't be able to see the other car.
No, side by side already.
Side by side. Into Westfield Bend. Sorry, Hawthorne Bend. And now it's Westfield Bend. Smolenski throwing it into the corners. It's a great section, this, Alex. There's a fantastic flow to it.
Yeah, and it always leads to good battling around here.
Singled out. Hard on the curb, Smolenski. The track kind of comes to you on the outside line. It allows you to really attack the corner. And still fighting all the way towards Clearways through Clark Curve. Over the timing line we go again to complete lap 7. We've got about 5.5 minutes left of this race. See the marbles flicking up from the back of Alex Smolenski's car into the face of David Waldock. And we were stood on the grid at the Nürburgring, Alex, at the Blancpain race, and saw a lot of the marbles on the side of the circuit, and some of them are quite sizable bits of rubber. You wouldn't want them hitting you at 100 miles an hour, would you?
No, not at all. And yeah, if they come over the barrier, you'd know about it. Whack you on the forehead.
Oh yeah, that's it. Like a hockey puck, nearly. Oh, that's a good line by Dave Waldock. Picking up the slipstream. Closing in. Reaching 150 miles an hour at the back of the course here. Oh, and he had to get out of that so he didn't crash into the back of Alex Smolenski, the Bulgarian driver for ProSim. David Waldock, one of the few who's really putting himself out there in this race. Doing a good job of fighting with Smolenski
He's
here.
around. We're going to see him in a second, I think.
Kepi, let's have a look. When we come around Stirling's Bend, are we going to see... Yeah, we do. We get him in the background. Yeah, Alex, take us through a lap with on board with David and tell us what's going on inside that car.
Do that then. Yep, it's heading down and into turn 1. Always a tricky corner. You want to brake as late as you can, but you've got to steer and sort of brake at the same time. Just a little dab, throw it in, get on the power, let the car run out, use the runoff area there, it doesn't slow you down. Get the car braking into the hairpin. It's a tricky corner. I prefer to stay off the curb there. I just feel like the camber pushes you wide into a Graham Hill bend. Use all of the runoff area, as you see both drivers
a bit more.
absolutely maximise there. And into Stirling's. Again, a very tricky corner. So many different lines that you can take through there. And Waldock just deciding to choose the slightly tighter one all the way through. The car had good rotation off there though, so he's able to get on the power nice and early. Picked up the draft. Hasn't quite got enough to get by Smolenski here.
Well,
again through the GP section of the circuit. Again, he's quite compromised here. Oh God, that was close. And
Smolenski was forced into the middle of the road, wasn't he? And it was just a bit offline.
You can see how bumpy this part of the circuit is as well. Beautiful for the BTCC, but these little Renaults with only 16mm clearance, yeah, it can play a little bit of havoc with them. Good exit out of the penultimate corner, and maybe he lines up a move for the final corner. Again, important to get on the power as early as possible here, because this really does sort of shape up your most probable overtaking position. It's all about getting this and stay on board as we just round the outside.
Into the gravel.
Off
Teplevsky
again.
The gravel, we saw him having fun there in practice. He's looking on the outside of Druids. You know what, Waldock might be well served, Alex, to try that wide line again. He got fantastic drive off there last time.
Yeah, I think exactly that. That's what he wants to do. He wants to get that wide line in such the way that he can. Smolenski having to go very defensive.
Go up the inside into Surtees.
The different lines that you can take through there. Alex will get slightly better exit speed off of there.
Really good exit by Smolenski that time.
On it coming. 1 minute 58 of this lap race to go even.
Oh, you can't. The problem is he's gaining this Waldock. He's getting within striking distance, but there's hardly any braking zones at the back end of this circuit. It's such a quick track for these Renaults.
Yeah, I mean, you just saw it. It was just a dabber break, wasn't it? Here,
Yeah.
there, and everywhere. This is what makes really.
Oh,
Oh dear!
Waldock! He's round. Can he avoid the wall? He can. Can he avoid Jos Honig? He can.
Unfortunately, the
And
death
Tom
twitch that is the iRacing tyre model, right there for you. So.
Well, that's put paid to the only action we had going on the track.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Martin van Loozenod then final lap. It should. Oh, is it going to be the final lap? It's going to be close.
You might get one more in. You'll get one more.
We
No
will
problem.
definitely get one more. Actually,
Yeah.
what am I on about? Yeah, we were a little bit early, weren't we, with the start? I think that's what caught us out. He's looking for win number 62. Normally, statistics like that are reserved for a driver's career, Alex, not one season.
Yeah. That's how the BSR is, though, isn't it?
I've never seen anyone take 60 wins in the season. I don't care.
Well, no.
The BSR.
Yeah, not in the Kias, for example. But yeah, this kind of opens it up to
That's
it a bit.
fantastic. The average finish of 3 for Van Loozenod over the season. It's going to go into the 2s with victory here. He takes it, that is. We'll say that. He's got an 87% finish rate as well, which is fairly good, actually. It's not.
And what's Jack, for example? 'Cause I think
Keithley,
that's really it. That's the
91.
Yeah, see, that's why Keithley's winning this championship.
And Keithley has done more race meetings as well. He's done 3 more race meetings. But of course, the showdown doesn't really get called into account because, you know, that I think they've both had equal amounts of races in the showdown. Did Martin miss one?
No, I think Martin missed one.
On the final lap, then.
You think he missed a whole meeting, so he effectively had 4 DNFs. And I know he had a DNF in one of the races as well. So.
I'll just point out as well, Roy Verkerk started 92 races and he's finished every single one.
Wow, very impressive.
And Paul Denton's finished 95% of the races. No wonder he's doing so well as well. And I don't know how. And I guess
that's why he won the or coming into the showdown. You know, he was top driver, wasn't he, in the AM category?
Here we go.
Then.
Round the final corner he comes. And he's going to see the checkered flag when he emerges from clearways. Across the line. Well, he's got a tall order here tonight, Martin van Loozenod. But he starts that in the best possible way. And he takes win number 62 of the season. Josh Thompson, very well driven race. Come home in second. And Jack Keithley, one step closer to glory with the final step on the podium. Stephen Baxter in 4th position. Going to come across ahead of Yannick Ongena.
That's the same for him, really, isn't it? One more step.
Well, that's it. And Paul Denton, 2 positions lost again to Baxter. He's going to have to hope to beat him in these reverse grid races if he's going to have any possible chance taking home the AM Championship. Alex Smolensky, you know, that's probably the best race that he's put together in terms of a finishing position since coming into the championship in 7th place. I think he's finished in the top 8 before, but that's when other people haven't finished. So only one retirement there. That's a very good race by Smolensky, improving in the car all the time. Jos Honig in 8th position, and then Stelian Chepelevsky, who had 2 spins. Didn't seem to hit anything, but yeah, it cost him a lot in 9th. David Waldock, a big spin for him in 10th. Actually, there were only 1.2 seconds between Chepelevsky, Waldock and Depka at the line. Depka in 11th. Roy Verkerk completes his 93rd consecutive race with 12th position. Kip Stevens in 13th. And the only retirement, actually, mate, was Rafe Cullinan. So I have to say it was a very well-driven race. A little dull, fortunately.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to say
I don't
that,
think the rest of them are going to be any different. I think that's going to be the kind of thing tonight. You know, everybody's out there to do a particular job to lock down their position in the championships or try and move forward. You know,
well, they know what they can get, don't they? As well, they know they're looking at. You know, they're not stupid. They're looking at the standings. They're seeing how many points they can feasibly get, and that's all they're targeting, isn't it? Really, and
yeah. I mean, there's $5.5 grand worth of prize money going to be shared out after tonight's meeting. You know, so it's no one's going to be taking risks and things like that. The guys are all that are gonna race and pretty much are going to get their entry fees back and a bit more in return as well and whatnot. So you know, some are going to be quite well off of it from it. So
yeah,
no point in doing anything crazy or stupid, and I think that's why we saw Jack get out of the way of Josh very quickly. Yeah, even the likes of Denton really not fighting his teammate because he just didn't need to. He knows what he needs to do. He needs to finish all 4 races and hope that Baxter doesn't. So that's the only chance he's got of winning. But of course, he's in second position right now, so he's getting prize money for that. So I'll be surprised actually if there's a driver out on that grid right now that isn't going to take home some prize money.
Yeah, I'd be surprised.
Everybody's going to, isn't there? Out of that lot, I mean, every single driver is, because it's teams or something like that.
I think you could well be right. We'd have to get confirmation, of course, of that, and I'm sure we can at some point, whether it's tonight or whether it's maybe Thursday night when the touring cars is on. I'm sure we can run that down for everybody. Okay, well that's race 1 over and done with, and we've got 3 more left of the season in the BSR Formula Renault Championship. Join us back after the break as we get ever closer to deciding a champion.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Truex in the outside contact, mate. 56 slides it into 4. Who's going to be at the stripe? Dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
3 rounds to go in the iRacing MSA British Sim Racers Formula Renault Championship. And, well, reverse grid race for race 2. Andrew Woodhouse with Alex Simpson. And Alex, Brands Hatch reverse grid. We saw in the BTCC at the weekend. Now the reverse grid can impact the race. And I'm hoping that this does impact this meeting, because otherwise we might not be awake by the end of it.
Yeah, let's hope not. So
we've told Kip to crash into everyone, so we'll see if that comes of it. Stevens, Verke, Depke, Waldock, Chepelewski, Honig, Enton, Ongener, Baxter, Keithley, Thompson, Van Loosenord, and Cullinan. And the red lights are on. The green light is on. Let's start by who is that on the outside? That's Roy Verke, sorry, on the outside. And what's that? There's a bit of contact. Waldock and
into Druids. It's so close, so
man.
close. How did they all survive that? I thought that was death instantly happening.
Oh wow, they were 3 wide in Druids, and somehow they didn't crash. This is where Martin Van Loosenord needs to make his move, and Jack Keithley really just needs to stay out of trouble. That's what all he needs to do. He needs to finish 4 races. Look at this at the front though. Stevens, Chepelewski and Verke. Verke leading, Stevens second. A Pro-Sim blockade, Alex.
And yeah, Martin just got past Jack as well. Jack didn't even fight it.
I wonder if this is going to make it a little bit interesting. Stevens then. Oh! And that was Depke really cutting across the front of Waldock. I'm sure Dave didn't appreciate. Depke and Stevens side by side. This is much better racing. Baxter and Denton side by side. Oh, crash! Stevens into Depke. Depke into the wall. Now Waldock round the outside.
Yeah, it's going to continue, but car's toast, I think. He doesn't need to continue. He's going to go straight into the pits.
Van Loosenord trying to go through on Stevens. Stevens blocks him. Van Loosenord up the inside, just a car's width there, just enough. The Dutchman to go through. Oh, Waldock loses it in front of the championship contenders. He hits the wall. He's got rear wing damage. Not sure how far he's going to go in this race now. Van Loosenord's trying to go around the outside of Kip at 70s. Look at the speed he carries. Speed is unbelievable. Oh, there's a problem for Cullinan. He nearly loses it. Coming onto the back straight. Here comes Thompson as well. Thompson and Stevens side by side. Stevens throws it into Hawthorne Bend. There's contact and Thompson is into the wall. He's lost the front nose. He's out of the race. And that is hard racing there. 2 cars getting ever closer to each other. And here comes Ongener up the inside into Sterling's Bend. He hits Stevens. Cullinan's off, and the championship contenders of the AM category coming through and just making it through. Denton and Baxter somehow surviving that one. And all hell has officially broken loose here.
Right, just in a replay of what happened to Josh. He was involved in the second one, sorry?
Waldock and Ongener and Stevens, was it? The second one? Which one's the second one?
Yeah, that
Hawthorne.
That one, yeah.
Hawthorne was Thompson and Stevens.
We saw that. We saw
it was Stevens and everyone, I think,
sorry,
to be honest.
Yeah, so we've got everyone there. Sorry. 2 things happened at once there, and I was replaying the first. But we managed to get everything. Right, back to live. That was just confusing.
When we told him to crash into everyone, we didn't mean it. Oh well, never mind. No, you know what? None of the championship contenders affected by that at all. 3 wide, and it's Ongener, Honig.
They almost hit each other.
Oh, somehow they avoided absolute disaster there.
Kip got a bit of front wing damage from that.
He's disqualified.
So his race done anyway, but yeah. So.
Disqualified, aren't they? Stelian Chepelewski's in the lead, by the way, Alex.
Good job from Stelian. 1.8 seconds clear.
And
And Jack just moves himself past Verke as well. Verke maybe having a little look to fight this back.
Sorry, Cheppy's been struggling with paddock hill a little bit in this meeting. But he does negotiate it well. 1.7 seconds is the gap over Martin van Loosenhout. Keithley ahead of Verke. Then it's Cullinan, Denton, Baxter. And then Honig, Ongener and Waldock. Thompson out. Depke out.
7/10 was the difference on the last lap, so Martin's going to get there. I think probably next lap. What else is going? Baxter and Denton are very close. So this is for the AM title. This will be interesting to watch, just to see does Baxter just sit there? Baxter can give up one point.
Baxter doesn't need to do anything here. Denton almost needs to back Baxter into his faker teammates, but the problem you've got with that is they're not going to favour one driver over the other. They're teammates of both drivers, so they'll probably stay behind it as well. It's one of those. I think Denton's damned if he does and damned if he doesn't, to be honest. He's going to beat him.
Yeah, he's just got to do his thing, isn't he?
What all that carnage, that mass chaos has done at the beginning of the race has meant that all the faker cars are still running, all 5 of them. Van Loosenhout has got through on Cheppy on that lap, and he's already a second in front of him. So we missed.
Did Stellian make a mistake or something? Because
no, 19.5 for Van Loosenhout, Chepelewski 22.2.
Yeah,
2.3. Oh, that must have been a mistake.
Must have been a mistake. So I've just gone back. Just gone back a bit to have a look.
He was 2 seconds slower, wasn't he? Was Stellian on that lap. So yeah, it must have been an issue for him. You know where that was or how that came about?
It was just what's the penultimate corner called? Can't remember off the top of my head.
Sterling's.
It was coming off Sterling's. Got himself all out of shape. Just seen it back on the replay, and saved the car before hitting anything, and Martin through.
I think sadly, mate, that's our excitement over with.
I think you might be right.
For now, at least. Anyway, Honig. Oh, wait a minute. Honig's in the gravel. So Yannick Ongen says, thank you very much, fella. I'm going through into P8. I'll have that. Really, these two are fighting over second last and third last at the moment. Waldock is last with his innovative rear wing on that Formula Renault, Alex. I don't know exactly how much downforce that's given him, to be honest, but like some of the F1 wings, actually, with a little bend in the middle.
Yeah.
Not intentional, unfortunately for him. Oh, he's gone!
Might be working better.
Waldock.
Or not.
That time. Yeah. That's the rear grip. That's evidence of the rear grip that he's got. Time to rip that one up and start again in the wind tunnel, I think. Oh dear. Yeah, so okay, half distance nearly. Is that it? Half distance. And yeah, we haven't got any battles out there really. I mean, Denton and Baxter, that doesn't really count as a battle because Baxter doesn't need to overtake it.
No.
What's happened to Rafe though? Cullinan. Oh, that's what's happened.
Oh!
And he spins coming through Westfield Bend right in front of the AM Championship contenders, and once more they avoid it, and that's more places. It's 5th and 6th now. Now is Baxter going to attack Denton? He's got a good run. I don't think he really needs to, but he's very close. He might have a go. He is going to.
He's got an opportunity, you know, a straightforward draft pass, then why not go for it?
Paul needs to fight this now. We want to see these guys competing. They've won the team's champion.
Yeah, no. That's it. Like I said, they know exactly what they need to do.
They've won the team's championship.
But, you know, for Denton, it just doesn't matter whether, Baxter's one place ahead of him or not. He's not going to close the points up. You know, so he has to survive.
DNF,
so it's going to be something like what we saw with Rafe. You know, something like that might take out Baxter. You know,
actually you're right because whether he finishes 5th or 6th, actually in any of the races, Whether he wins or he finishes 10th actually doesn't matter one jot.
Exactly.
It means it's the DNF that he needs to avoid at all costs.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually matter whether Baxter beats him by 10 places or no places, because if Baxter crashes, then, you know, if he DNFs, the title's his. If he doesn't, it's not. That's simply it. And that's the fault of the point system. I'm sorry, but that is... We do have to say, this is a point system, though I have to be fair and say this was a point system designed for 40 or 50 cars, not for 12 cars or 15 cars. And I think that's the issue. Everyone's scoring very, very high points, and it's not really, you know, you couldn't really change. The problem is you couldn't really change the points mid-season.
No,
because there were so many people. You know, there were still 20 odd drivers mid-season.
If he's about to get chippy here, I think.
Couldn't really change it, unfortunately. And Keithley, then champion-elect almost. Oh! Contact!
A little bit there, yeah. Well, you know, Chippy's got nothing not to race for, so, you know, he'll give it an opportunity where he can.
Try. Very good driving from Keithley to kind of avoid that, though. The thing with Keithley, since all that nonsense with Thompson, he's been very, very calm and very good. But yeah, no, I think if the series had started with 20 cars, I think it'd be, you know, you'd probably give it F1 points or maybe MotoGP points, wouldn't you? Where still a few drivers at the bottom who don't score any points in that race. It really gives you an incentive to finish the race. But not so much of an incentive where, you know, it encourages you to move forward, is what I'm saying.
Baxter through on Verke.
You know, when 1 point in the current system, when everybody's picking up, I don't know, 70 points or whatever, is nothing, is it? But say if the maximum points for the win was 25. Then the difference between 1 or 2 or 4 points matters, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I was trying to get at. Is F1 matters because there's 7 points between the winner and second place, and it's 7 points out of 25, isn't it? But then when unfortunately you're getting kind of 100 for a win and 98 for second, it's not really. Not a lot of incentive to take the win there, isn't it?
No, not at all. What am we looking at right now? So Rafe Cullinan, he's got Honig tucked up behind him at the moment. These guys have both had issues in this race, but still having a good little battle out there. And again, not much to. I mean, I know Honig's still effectively in the AM Championship, but he's out of it now, I think, isn't he? After the last race.
Yeah, I think so. It was 200. It was 200
points.
behind.
Well, there's still 300 odd on the table, so not yet. I think after
this
next one, if they don't DNF in the next one, then that's him out of it.
Same with Keithley as well. He can win the title in race 3.
Yeah.
If Van Loozenod doesn't DNF. Sorry, if he does. Yeah, that's right. Oh, Cullinan's around again.
Yeah.
Struggling with the rear on the exits.
Just out of Graham Hill, wasn't it? Yeah.
The exits of the medium speed corners that Rafe's been struggling with, unfortunately, today. Not really sure what he can do to remedy that, Alex, in the car. I mean, I don't think it's a brake. It's definitely not like a brake bias thing. It's on the exit of the corner, so not a massive amount you can change in this Renault either. Change the diff.
Yeah, you can change the diff, but not in the car, really. I mean, once you're out there.
That'd be before the race.
Yeah. Really just bias. That's about all you can change. So, yeah, you really are limited.
Yeah, there's not a lot to, a massive amount that you can alter, is there? Really. Have a little look then. I'm really sorry, viewers, for the lack of enthusiasm. It's just there's no cars, not even. There we go. Honig for Verke, Denton. closest fight out on there on the circuit. I was going to say there's hardly any cars within touching distance of each other, so we'd love it to be exciting. We really would. Stay with us for the last 2 races. Hopefully you get a bit more of that excitement, but I don't know. I wouldn't hold my breath too much, to be honest. I'm sorry. But, you know, Honig versus Verke. Depends whether Honig's going to even try, you know. Don't really need to. He needs to finish the race, doesn't he? Which, again, is just kind of it, isn't it? Needs to finish.
That's all he's doing. Yeah, that's all he's doing, you know.
Verke just needs to finish as well for the AM category, just in case there's a retirement. Because if there's a retirement with both Baxter and Denton, it brings Roy right back into the frame. Yeah,
I mean for Verke, he's in the same position. If they don't DNF in the next race, then he's out.
Yeah.
Of the challenge. So
final lap for Martin van Loosenot. He's already on to the back straight. Pilgrim's Drop. Then Hawthorne Bend. In a cakewalk really for Martin van Loosenot after the first couple of laps, where he had to thread his way through the traffic quite well, actually, I must say.
He goes for a little trip through the little too wide there. But,
you know what? That's that could have been the championship right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, Van Loosenot, fantastic driving again. He hasn't needed to win by 10 seconds, but he's done so because he can. He comes across for his 63rd win of the season. It's the double for Van Loosenot at Brands Hatch. Takes the win. Jack Heathley coming around the last corner. And it's well and truly one hand on the trophy now for Keithley. He just needs to finish one more race. That's his magic number. He will be the BSR Formula Renault champion. Stelian Chepelevsky in 3rd place. Good performance by Stelian to get onto the podium. Stephen Baxter gets 4th. And yeah, he's marching towards the title as well. Yannick Ongener in 5th. Paul Denton in 6th. Roy Verke does come home in 7th ahead of... wait a minute. Nope, Honig got through. Honig got through and took 7th place. Ahead of Verke. I don't know what happened. Verke had a 25.7 on that lap. So I wonder if he had a crash, you know. Or a spin or something. Did they hit each other? Honig got through.
You know, wind it back and just have a little look on the replay.
Honig got through into Druids. There's nothing. I don't think you're going to find anything interesting there. He just slowed down.
Slow lap, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And Rafe Cullinan in 9th. David Waldock did finish the race in 10th. 1 lap down. Kip Stevens, Josh Thompson, Tom Depker all out of the race. Stevens disqualified. Depker and Thompson retired. Thanks to Kip Stevens, I would imagine. Right. Okay, well that's it for the first 2 rounds of the night here on Apex Racing TV. We've got 2 more rounds to come, and yeah, we could crown champion at the very next race. So stick with us here on Apex Racing TV.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Truex in the outside, contact made. 56 slides it into 4. Who's going to be at the stripe? Dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Back to Brands Hatch, round 3 of the evening. Finale of the BSR Formula Renault, Andrew Woodhouse and Alex Simpson bringing you all the action from the English circuit. And Martin van Loosdorff looking to make it 3 out of 3. But really, Alex's destiny is not really in his own hands, is it?
No, not at all. Not at this point. He just needs to, just got to hope and pray, really. And Keithley looks like he's just driving far too sensibly out there. But we saw in the last couple of races, well, the last race specifically, let me put my teeth back in, you know, that a couple of people just lost it out of nowhere. Now, if that happens again in this one, in front of, like, Keithley, and takes him with them, you know.
Something could happen in the first few laps. I mean,
yeah,
there's a bit, you know.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? The first 2 or 3 laps, that's where it's really, really dangerous. For these guys and the likes of Baxter as well.
They've got, you know, again, I don't want to keep harping on about it, but got the likes of Josh Thompson starting behind them. You know, it's never always a comfortable situation for the drivers as well. So
points aren't being updated, unfortunately, live, which is a bit of a shame. So we won't be able to tell you exactly where everybody's at. They were earlier on in the season, but now they're not. So a bit gutted.
Baldock on pole, Cullinan, Verke, Honig, Denton, Ongena, Baxter, Cheppy, Keithley, Van Loosenall, Stevens, Thompson and Debker.
Baxter's in the pits.
Baxter is in the pits. Sensible stuff from him. Here comes David Waldock. The first corner, someone's on the grass already. I'm not sure who that is. Into, Paddock Hill Bend. The 2 Pro Sim cars. Oh, Verke and Kepilevsky nearly hitting each other. Van Loosenall already round the outside and into 4th place.
Yep.
How did he even do that? How did he get round that wall of cars? I've absolutely no idea. Off goes Roy Verke.
Bookmark it. We'll go and have a look later.
I have no idea how he did that. I wasn't even looking at him. He's in 3rd now.
Yeah, crazy.
That's ridiculous. He was in 9th, and after 2 corners, he was 4th. And everyone else was in the way, and I didn't think it was possible. He goes up the inside of Cullinan, and that's 2nd place. Good luck, David Waldock now.
Yeah. Got 1.8 seconds lead to try and hold on to. 12 laps.
2 chances, slim and none, I think. Fortunately. Or David. Up the inside goes Stalin Chepilevsky on pole. Denton gets out of it frantically. Couldn't get out of the way quickly enough, could he there? Paul Denton. And look at that, he's just letting cars go by.
I mean, it is a shame for us to watch it like this, but yeah, it's exactly what I expected for this round.
It's exactly what it is, unfortunately, yeah. Thompson and Keithley might have a battle.
Baxter's in the pitch, you know, he's even less likely to.
But look at that. Thompson showed his nose in Druids. Keithley just not interested. And why should he be?
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, what you can say is
to the end.
Baxter knows. I mean, looking at the points, if he wins this one, or he finishes this one, he's guaranteed 2nd place in the championship.
And Van Loo's not going for the lead then.
That's why I think Baxter, and straight through for Martin, I think that's why Baxter's started from the pits. I don't know if there was any penalty or anything like that, not that I know of. Good little battle ahead though.
Cullen and Honig, Thompson, Keithley behind this group. You know what? If I was Jack...
Well, he's been sensible, he's given himself half a second.
He's given himself more than half a second as well. Yeah. Well, he did do, until Jos Honig made a mistake. Oh, Cullinan's crashed! And that's exactly what could have happened.
Yeah, that is why you give yourself the time.
I'd have given myself more than that as well, you know. I think he was dropping back very, very sensibly, was Jack, but...
Not a good meeting for Rafe, is it, this one? But never mind.
He's obviously not making the adjustments in his driving or in the car, really, to counter the problem of the oversteer that he's getting. So it's always on the exits. It's been in 2 corners, hasn't it? It's been in Surtees. It's been...
Yeah, just sort of those sort of medium speed corners, isn't it?
And
Honig lets his teammate through, so Jack.
And he spun at Graham Hillbend, I think, as well, actually. Earlier on.
and Ongena having a good battle. Sorry, Andrew, keep cutting you off.
And yeah, this should be a battle as well. Depke. Ongena's got damage. Look at that front wing. Absolutely pasted. Still pulling away from Depka. Oh, it's a sad state of affairs, though, when drivers... And again, I know I'm not going to... We need to talk about it because it's the final 2 rounds. But when drivers are actively letting other drivers through... Oh, Waldock's crashed! Not happening for him either, is it? And he's out.
Not a good meeting either.
It's Rafe and Waldock, really. They just struggled with the car. They've had good pace, but struggled to keep it on the island. But yeah, when drivers are, you know, there's one thing not fighting another driver, is there? But I've seen drivers here tonight actively just moving out of the way and slowing down as if they were getting a blue flag. And dear, we don't want to see that at the end of it. At the end of a championship, really. Good job we didn't get this at the Sim Expo, isn't it, for the final couple of rounds? Based on the...
Yeah, actually it worked out for the best.
Based on this, isn't it? Yeah, God. Worked out well for our wallets as well, I think, mate. That's two. Verke just conceding the place to Baxter. That's the thing, Baxter didn't take it, Verke just gave it. Gave the place there.
Martin clear by miles now, 4.6 seconds. So.
Thompson's trying his best out there, I have to say.
Oh,
he's
yeah,
still
he is.
slower. He's still slower though. 0.2 of a second slower. Driving well is Josh. When the thing is with Josh, when he's in clear air, he drives very well, indeed. But needs to sort out how he is around the other cars. It's a shame we've come to a bit of an anticlimax, I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen. See if we can dig into the stats book and see if we can find anything else that's interesting from the season itself.
Oh, Depka in the background there, just getting off, but manages to save it for the most part.
Have a look then. Most podiums: Van Loosenhout 84, Keithley 60, Samuel Lebert 39, Josh Thompson 33, Pete Berryman 31. Disqualifications. The most has been for Josh Thompson, unsurprisingly, with 10. Samuel Lebert 9. Van Loosenhout has been disqualified 7 times. Tom Depka actually leads the DNF standings, Alex, which most of those were early.
I'm afraid.
Most of those were early on, weren't they? I think. About 5, 6. He had 6 DNFs in the first 6 race meetings, first 5 race meetings. That was how many. Yeah, he's just racked them up, and that's not really his fault. A lot of those either. Then Josh Thompson 25 DNFs, Yannick Ongen at 18, Stephen Baxter 18, Christian Rose 15. Incidents. Now, the most incidents of the season. Prediction, Alex, of the most incidents of the season?
It's got to be Josh, surely.
Got to be Josh. 647 incidents.
647. Go on, son.
And then 587 for Lebert. Van Loosenhout 516 actually, as well, and 460 incidents for Mr. Depka. Most of those have been 4Xs against him. I think. Let's have a look. Top 10s actually. Jack Keithley has the most top 10s with 116, and Martin Van Loosenhout with 101. Paul Denton 81 top 10s. It's not hard to get the top 10s now, really, but it was at the start of the season anyway. A number of starts actually. Jack Keithley has the most starts. He's competed in every single race that we've had this season, Alex. I have to say that's pretty impressive, regardless of where he finishes in the championship. He's missed no races.
Yeah, that's good.
Stephen Baxter's only missed 6 races. 8 races for Depka, Denton, and Honig. And Loosenhout has missed 12 races. And then all the rest, yeah. So that's Yeah, and of course Van Loosenhoorn in the second half of the season, he's took 3 wins in a meeting 6 times. He's also done a clean sweep twice as well. Yeah, the thing is for Martin, it became quite Thompson's out, I think.
Yeah, he is.
I think he got disqualified.
Well, let's see where it was. In the last 30 seconds? No, it was not.
Has he had a crash? I might have had a crash, actually. Coming out of Graham Hill Bend, let's see it. Oh, lost the rear on the way in. Tried to correct it badly and then just wiggle off into the wall. And broken suspension, and that's the end of that for Josh Thompson. So he's out. That puts Jack Keithley up into second place. And Alex, he's only 5 laps away from being crowned the champion, Jack Keithley.
Yeah, not long to go. Oh, I'm going to miss this blooming incident with Josh again. Here we go. Finally, I got it on replay. Had to go a long way back to pick it up. But,
he's really unlucky, you know. Really unlucky.
This is what iRacing's got to sort out. That death wiggle just doesn't happen like that. You know, you don't snap back that quickly. You know, cars are a lot easier to save.
No. Denton versus Stevens, Alex, side by side into Druids. Good battle. This very close. Really close between the two of them. Stevens really racing hard.
Oh, Denton just got out of it in the end. He was like, no.
That close. I tell you what, though, that's that close quarters racing that Kip Stevens really got a lot of experience with. Obviously, 2-time BSR TC champion. Yeah, maintaining his 5th place. He doesn't want to give that up. Started 11th on the grid, Kip Stevens, actually. So he's put together a good performance in this one. Oh, he's hit the curb hard, though, at Westfield. That might give Baxter a sniff, but Baxter does not. He cannot afford a DNF, Alex. Whatever the situation. He shouldn't even be anywhere near this battle, I don't think. He's on the outside.
I was about to say, obviously feels like he can get past Kip pretty quickly.
He needs to get past him, though. He is.
Yeah, he's through.
That's a good move by Baxter. And really unnecessary, to be honest. He doesn't need that. But he went for it, and he was decisive. And that's the thing. If you're going to make a move, mate, you've got to be decisive, haven't you? You can't fanny around, can you? And like do a half move.
That's it. Yeah, when you got something like that on the line, you just got to get through and just go. You know, like Martin's been doing. Really, you know, he's got just as much to lose as the others out there. We know he has to win as well, but he obviously can't afford a DNF as well. So
yeah.
You know, he made very decisive moves at the start of this race.
Yeah, good stuff from Baxter though, and he'll be a deserving champion if he does take it.
I mean, he's come on so much this year. You know, when we first started seeing Stephen kicking around, racing in all these championships that we cover, you know, it was fair to say he was sort of a mid to well, just a mid-pack.
I mean, really, for this was the one he was only really doing this one, wasn't he, for quite a long time, and then he seems to have popped up everywhere. Even popped up on a Tuesday morning, didn't he once?
Yeah, I think so. You know, and he's done great. He's just improved a lot. So it just goes to show, you know, the more you drive, the more you get used to the sim, and you know you can you know, just find pace in every car that you drive.
He's done well in the touring cars as well, hasn't he?
Oh, fantastic!
He's pretty quick in that. He's a solid top 20 driver pretty much every time he takes to the circuit now. Stephen Baxter in the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship as well, which you can see every Thursday night here on Apex Racing TV. And we are at where are we next week for the touring cars? My mind's gone blank. You remember where we are? Time? It's Denton versus Stevens.
Yeah, just watching that. I'm not sure.
Oh, close. Very close, but Paul Denton gets through. One place behind Stephen Baxter. Like I say, it's not beyond beyond something silly happening in the last few laps, but I have to say, Stephen Baxter, Alex, he never really looks like making mistakes on his own. I hope that's not a curse, but doesn't seem to make them, does he?
No, he doesn't at all. That's a part of his sort of skill set that he's improved on, I think.
Yeah.
This year, at the start of the season, was making a few little mistakes here, there, and in some of the other cars as well, but just seems so consistent now, especially like in the Kia, just relentless. Look at Stillier, and I thought he might be closing in on Honig, but they seem fairly sort of equivalent sort of pace out there.
And well, Alex, we're only a few seconds away from Jack Keithley starting his final lap, and you know what? He's driven very, very sensibly in this showdown, and if you disregard even though, he started off the season very well, very sensibly indeed, and then it went a bit off for him in the middle, didn't it? He had a few incidents, a lot of controversial circumstances and whatever, but then as soon as the showdown started, it was like he just went, right, I'm resetting it, I'm going to change my approach, and it really has worked.
Yeah, absolutely. He's finished every race, hasn't he, in the showdown, and that's why he's there. So.
And Faker Sim Sport Europe, they're a team that was kind of thrown together at the last minute, wasn't it, Alex, at the beginning of the season? But
yep.
They've done a fantastic job, and they are a team. They are the true definition of a team. They've pushed each other on. They've made each other better. And they're going to take Teams Championship as well, as you said at the start of the night. That was academic, we knew that.
I'm not watching Martin at the moment. He's 15 seconds up the road. He's going to come across and win race number 3 of the night. It's all going to be in vain.
Right. Yeah, he's got one corner to go, Van Loozenhout. But he's done everything he could do tonight. And he comes through for the hat-trick. Martin Van Loozenhout, 3rd win of the race, 64 for the season. But 64 wins do not matter when Jack Keithley has played the showdown absolutely perfectly. Jack Keithley coming to the line, and he's the 2017 British Sim Racers Formula Renault champion.
Great drive from Jack all season long, and like you say, the showdown. So he's just done what he needed to do. And here comes Baxter in 5th place. Gonna watch him come through. He hasn't quite clinched that title yet, as Denton's still out there running behind him at the moment. So that championship's going to go down to the absolute wire, and that's what we're going to focus on, I think, for the next race.
And Stephen Baxter has to make it to the end of the race in order to be crowned champion. Rob Verke comes across, and Tom Depke. Verke, I believe he's out now, isn't he? I think he's
That's it, yeah, was 140
contention.
points now, yeah, so highest he can finish, I believe, is 3rd now, so which is where he currently sits, so I think he can still lose 3rd to Honig, so that's still possible, so he needs to finish to get his sort of credits. Not credits, it's cash, isn't it? It's not credits, sorry.
It's cash, yes.
Yeah.
But after 9 months of racing, 139 races, Jack Keithley is the champion.
Yeah, congratulations, Jack. Well done, mate. And come in off the back of what was a disappointing Pro Series, wasn't it? That final race at Nürburgring, where he got absolutely walloped that we were covering, and a bit gutted not to be in the World Championship, but it's fair to say, he's going to win probably more prize money in this series than 95% of that grid, that World Championship grid.
World Championship grid, yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically Kroenke and Maybe the other top two, possibly, that gain more money than that, I would
Honestly, I
imagine.
think the top three will probably will get a bit more than what he does, but that's it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, fantastic
you know,
job.
when you consider it like that, I mean, some people are like, yeah, there's too much effort, there's too many races involved and stuff like that. But actually, it only started just before the World Championship and it ends just before the World Championship, so it's not really that much effort. It's just
You're
you don't have
racing
the
every
break.
week, but that's the
Yeah.
only real difference, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
You're racing actually less time. You're racing for only an hour every week.
yeah.
Hour of racing. So,
That was just excuses, I think.
but yeah, a cracking job by Keith Lee, and had an eventful season. It's a shame he's not in the team speak to come and have a chat with us, but hopefully he can come in there after race 4 and maybe have a bit of a chat with us to celebrate his title. Van Loosenord, he did well. He's done all he can. He won by 16 seconds, for goodness sake. That man does not know how to drive slowly, does he?
No, not at all. I mean, and at this point, Martin's locked in at second as well, so Martin
We'll get a decent amount of cash.
Yeah,
out
we'll get a
of it as
decent
well.
amount out of that as well. So good job from him. Depko also seals third place now because of that as well. So 1, 2, and 3 in the Pro Championship are all sort of locked down and sorted out. But yeah, I mean, we won't sit here under any illusions and say who the fastest driver is because it's quite clearly Martin. But also, it's not about being the fastest driver, is it? Always, you've got to have a champion's mindset about you, and make sure that you finish the races that you need to finish. And that's what Jack did. So he's drove with the full package, hasn't he? And that's why he's won the championship. But Martin, absolutely ballistically quick. By far the quickest.
Jack Keithley is the best driver in the series.
Correct.
And you know why? Because the scoreboard says so.
Yep.
9 wins. Martin Van Loosenord 64, but Jack Keithley wins the championship. That tells you a lot about how good the season that the Faker SimSport driver has done. I'll take you through the finishing order then, as we still need to get off to the final race, of course, of the evening. I hope, by the way, that Jack Keithley just gives it everything now in the final race, as he's pretty much guaranteed to be the champion, obviously, unless something silly goes on in the steward's room or anything like that. Martin Van Loosenord with the win, 16.5 seconds. Oh, Alex, can you find the start as well to take us through once I've gone through the results, just to I want to find out exactly where he went. He made up 5 places somehow in the first 2 corners, and I don't know how. Jack Keithley, P2, champion, and Jos Honig in 3rd. Fantastic performance by Honig. Stelin Chepelewski in 4th. Stephen Baxter 5th. He takes quite a big lead into the final round of the evening. Only a DNF will prevent him from becoming the AM champion. Paul Denton P6. Excuse me, Kip Stevens in 7th. Roy Viverke in 8th. Tom Depker in 9th. And then Yannick Ongena 1 lap down in 10th. Rafe Cullinan 1 lap down in 11th. Josh Thompson had a crash, and as did David Waldock. Mr. Simpson take us.
We're watching it now.
The grid.
It's a good start up alongside. I think that's Keithley going into Paddock Hill. Someone slow on the left, so that's 1. That's 2 places.
Oh, there's 2
round
on the
outside
inside
of Paddock Hill. 1, 2, 3, and 4 round the outside and into Druids. I think he's going to complete that overtake there. So just round the outside of everyone, mate. That's it, and that puts him into 4th.
So carry on, seeing what he does next. He's going to try and get. He goes around the outside, does he here? Yep. Outside of Honig in Surtees. It's the slipstream off of Cullinan down the back straight, and I think he gets through on Cullinan just after Hawthorne, I think.
You're right.
There we go. A lot of speed to the inside. Yep. Into Westfield, bang. So we might as well stay with it and see how long it takes him to get to David, because that did not seem to take too long, did it? You can see, visually see the closing speed.
Yeah. Did he spin as well, David, before he even got there?
I will see. I guess we'll see, because he comes through the final corner. This is lap 1. We're not finished on lap 1 yet. He's gone from 10th to E2. He's only about 1 second behind, and into Paddock. Look how he throws the car into Paddock Hill Bend on lap 2. Absolutely reckless abandon there. And this is how to. It's an absolute masterclass of how to start a race. I will say that the other drivers helped him. They were slow on the inside, weren't they? Because they were all battling each other.
Yeah.
But you still got to take advantage. And going around the outside of Paddock Hill and Druids, which can get quite dirty. And here we go through Surtees, lining up David Waldock down the back straight and through. And that is indeed that. And nobody ever saw him again.
No.
And Waldock did crash, I think, soon after that, didn't he? Just 2 or 3 corners after, I think he ended up in the fence. So, but what a fantastic start! And yeah, Van Loosenhoorn, he's driven in the World Championship. He's driven in various things on iRacing and done particularly well. And I've got to say that's why. Okay. Well, we've got one more round to go tonight. We've still got the AM category to be decided, so we'd be very grateful if you stayed with us for the final round of the evening. Let's make it a good one.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Truex in the outside, contact made. 56 slides it into 4. Who's going to be into stripe? Dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical
It's the final race of the evening here on Apex Racing TV, the BSR Formula Renault Series. It's the final race of the season. Andrew Woodhouse joined by Alex Simpson. And Alex, well, final round, what are you expecting here?
Apart from the AM Championship, the pros is done and dusted. So let's have a good race between those two, see what happens. Lights are about to go off here then for final round, final time in the BSR Formula Renault 2.0 Series. Everyone is away well. Good start with 3 wide going down Paddock Hill. And yes, let's have a good one. We're really trying to see what goes on between the AM drivers at the moment. Oh, Martin again trying to lead his way through this grid and this pack as best he can. There's 3 wide going to Graham Hill. Ben, that's not going to work, and he's over and around. There's lots of carnage everywhere. Depka involved too.
And Stevens.
Well, there you go.
Martin van Loosenholt, he won't get 4 out of 4 tonight on his roof. Stephen Baxter probably wished he wore the brown pants. Did that happen just in front of him or just behind him?
Have a look, actually, see where he is. Just in front of him, really.
Oh, wow. So...
He was involved in that. He got
so
nothing.
Lucky.
Got nothing to worry about, so...
Can you go on board with Baxter? Because that's a big moment.
Unfortunately, Denton was collected in that, but he's still going. That's the important thing for Denton. But that,
Yeah, it doesn't matter actually if he finishes last, does he? As long as he finishes.
Yeah,
but
okay.
please go on board with Baxter, 'cause that was you see all the chaos between Graham Hill Bend and Surtees.
Yeah, let's have a look. See them coming out, and he actually gets out of it. It's, oh my word! He's just like, what is going on here? Sensible though, wasn't he? Baxter, he was involved in that a lot, and he just slowed right down and just let it all unfold around him as far wide as he could get, and yeah, finds himself in 8th place.
Right, we've had a couple of changes. Josh Thompson's up to 2nd. Jack
About to be
Keithley's
first, I think,
Jack
as he just
Keithley-
darts out from. Sorry, Andrew, darts out from behind of Rafe Cullinan and up the inside. And
Did
yeah,
Jack
that's
Keithley
that
hit
move
Van-
complete.
Did Keithley hit Van Loosenhood there?
Keithley was involved in it. You can see he's got a bit of wing damage as well. That's why he's struggling with the straight line speed. Keithley was on the very inside, you see. So yeah, getting his elbows out now that he's got the championship.
Keithley's up the inside. Keithley's into the lead. Thompson off, but he's back on. And look at that, he's managed to get Rafe.
Straight away.
How's he done that? He just kept his foot in it, didn't he? It's Keithley versus Thompson. Final round of the season it could be. Oh, contact! Off goes Cullinan. And I don't know what that was. Was there some net code there, Alex?
I'm not sure quite what that. We were on board with Thompson, so we couldn't really see it. Let's go on board and see
just
it
wheel
from
to wheel
from
contact.
Rafe's position.
Wheel to wheel contact. I take that back. Lightest bit of contact, really, mate.
Take a little look. Guys were jockeying, changing positions.
They both sort of went into each other, really.
Oh yeah, exactly. Wheel to wheel.
Why is
Bit
it
of
sent
wing,
Rafe's car right off like that?
wing damage on both sides for Rafe, unfortunately.
No damage for Thompson. It doesn't look like.
Nah, the wing damage will come from
Unfortunate.
hitting the tyre wall.
The wall, yeah. It's a shame. Paul Denton, yeah, you're right. He was collected at the at Graham Hill Bend on lap 1, but he's just got a bit of light front wing damage. His task is to finish the race and hope that something happens to Baxter.
That's it. Yeah.
I mean, he won't be hoping something happens to Baxter, but he will.
Yeah.
They are teammates. But
Well,
yeah,
they're locked in, I think, on first and second now, aren't they?
Yeah.
So yeah.
He'll be hoping Baxter crashes, to be honest. He can pick up the AM category. Both men are deserving of the AM category, I think.
Oh, they are. I mean, Baxter drove extremely well, and he's definitely had the
Should have been in the
pace
pro category, really.
to the end of the season, hasn't he, over his teammate? But Denton has just been relentless with his consistency as well. And
Going to pick up some cash, man. That's what it's all about. That's not what it's all about, but it'd be nice to get the money at the end. Keithley versus Thompson, part 147 of the season, most likely. And I
this
know
is
there
race
haven't been-
140 as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it
Funnily
is.
enough,
I know
yeah.
I know there hasn't been 147 races, but these two seem like they've been on the same piece of tarmac for pretty much the entire second half of the season. We're going to get a showdown, the final race.
It's a shame Jack's got a bit of front wing damage, actually, because I'd like to see him actually proper go at it here and not give two rats about what's going on.
Have a look, where's
Thompson's
the
not
damage?
racing for anything.
A little bit on the
Yeah, it's
a
just
little
on the
bit.
front wing. It's only a little bit. It's not as severe as we've seen. So
quarter of a
just
second
have
a lap, maybe, that sort of thing.
he'll have a little bit of push, and it'll be a little bit slower in a straight line, but not massively.
I wonder what's going through Jack Keithley's mind, whether he just wants to win the race or whether he just wants to knock Thompson off. We'll see. As comes through at Stirling's Bend on lap 4, so we've got a long time to go. We could see a good battle between these two. Neither of them are shy, I have to say, of fighting each other. Keithley goes defensive already. Thompson likes to trim the car out a lot. He's going to go around the outside of paddock. That's not really going to work. It doesn't work often. Keithley gives him some space. Thompson's going to try and go around the outside. Keithley ducks to the very inside. Thompson tries to get the long cut back out of Druids. Gets him close, but doesn't really work. This time through Graham Hill Bend. Thompson runs a little bit wider than Keithley does. Keithley, very good exit of Graham Hill Bend there. And through Surtees. And it is one of the hardest corners on iRacing, is Surtees, Alex. And I think it's one of the hardest corners in motor racing. And it's very tough to get around.
You know, I think that's the corner I struggle on the most around this circuit.
Yep, amen to
Whenever I
that.
race here, so yeah.
The one I cannot do, I'm afraid. No matter what I'm
There's
racing.
so many lines you can take through as well.
You occasionally get it. Are you the same as me? You occasionally get it perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you try and do the same thing again, and it just doesn't work.
No.
As Keithley and Thompson still battling away for the lead. This is what we want. We want to see a good battle for the lead. Keithley doesn't have anything to lose. Thompson doesn't have anything to lose now. And look at Keithley, perfect defensive line here. He does not need to open the door at all because Thompson will be through. Even if there's only 3/4 of a car's width, he'll try and go through. So, Sin try and make moves on the grass. Oh, he's lost it! Thompson's lost it and saved it again.
Look good. Almost as good as Stellions earlier on.
Very good save by Josh Thompson. Now, the tyres aren't going to be in good shape after that, Alex. It is a thing with this tyre model that slide the tyres, the friction, it really does hurt the rubber.
Damn it, he didn't have a bloody death wiggle. I had my Minion song ready and waiting.
We're ready. We're ready and waiting. It'll still be there soon. Might get one by the end of the race soon. Stelian Chepolowski's in third and going pretty well. That's only 3 seconds behind. Jos Honig in fourth. Yannick Ongen in fifth. Stephen Baxter in sixth. And this is perfect for Baxter, Alex. He's 2.5 seconds behind Yannick Ongen, and he's 7 seconds ahead of Roy Verwerke. He can cruise it home from here.
Yeah, middle of nowhere, really. So
that's what you want. You want dull and... I tell you what, if you're at the front of a championship, you want dull and boring.
Yeah, you really do.
You do.
This has been a dream for these guys, really, hasn't it?
When Colin Turkington got taken out of the race on Sunday, Ash Sutton would have been loving it. I mean, I know he said he would have liked to do it on the track, but deep down he's like, well, that was easy. That was a relief, you know. Oh, Thompson's at the gravel. He's still going. He's trying hard. He's maybe trying too hard. He just maybe needs to rein that pace back in.
He can definitely close it up. He's got the
he's got time.
You know, he's got the clean car as far as the damage goes. So he's got the pace over Jack.
Fastest car on the circuit for most of the race so far. Keithley 19.4. That's a decent lap. A bit slower than he was going earlier on, but of course that's to be expected with the damage. Stelian Chepolowski won 19.8. That could be his best lap of the evening.
Honig 19.5 as well, you know, so good pace there.
Well, Honig, the fastest man on the track by 0.3 of a second that time round. So very good lap by Jos. Yannick Ongen won 1:19.6. Stephen Baxter 20.3. It's good times going on out there.
Baxter's just cruising, and he really is.
Baxter, hey, look. He's not troubling the white lines. He's not troubling the...
I'd be doing exactly the same thing.
He's doing a brilliant job. Brilliant from Stephen Baxter. Look how much room he's giving everything. And that is the way. Indeed the way. Oh, you win a title, though, in BSR series, isn't it? You know? Nobody's... very rarely has someone won a BSR championship by being the fastest driver.
Yeah, I would agree with that, actually.
Can you think of one? I mean, Wojciech Svidovic in season 6 was probably the fastest driver.
And Seb as well that season as well. So, yeah, all right.
But was he faster than Wodge? Was he faster than Sutton? Was he faster?
I think he was, to be honest, that season. I genuinely do. I think he absolutely nailed it that season.
But he barely took it.
Yeah.
You know, because
I mean, if Cats
remember
had taken it, then you'd have definitely had that argument, you know, because he wasn't the quickest that season.
So I remember you had to have words about finishing races halfway through the season with Seb.
Yeah, just to stay out there, and you know, he had enough kind of thing. I was like,
make sure you win the races, you know.
Yeah, I was like, just
finish the races.
A different mindset's needed, you know. Just do this, and yeah, it all come together for him.
Baker in season 7.
And it was the same actually in the show.
It's
a shame in the showdown as well, because obviously it didn't go well in the showdown. He got a couple of DNS, didn't he, straight away? And I just said, well, look, just stay in it, keep doing it. We see all these things happen, and then true enough, look, you know, other people got wrecked out of the championship, and he was right there on that final race.
But I mean, Katz in season 8 arguably wasn't the fastest driver. Fluke in the Winter Series wasn't the fastest driver. And
I'll tell you what, though, you look at Fluke's place in the last race at BSRTC, he's come on leaps and bounds.
He's
actually,
a lot faster
in the last 18 months. Yeah, so I think you could argue he would be the quickest driver on that grid. Considering the time and effort he puts in that car compared to the rest of the field, and he's always banging it on pole or there or thereabouts.
I think Ash Sutton would have something to say about that, but to be honest, I think his pace is up there, but Fluke
different
tends to
mindset
race in a more consistent manner.
Yeah, I mean, slicing through the field, that's a different story, but out and out raw pace, lap time. I don't think there's an awful lot in that,
Oh, the lap times are very close between. I'm going to say with Savinovic, Fluke, Sutton, and occasionally Cheppy or Baker. I think usually up
Kraft as well. I'd put in that group. Yeah, he's
Kraft.
very, very quick when he hooks it up.
He's super fast. Is Dan Kraft. What highlights that is just how much of a fantastic grid we've got. I mean, we've got race winners who are starting in 30th place every week. And we've got people who've won races on merit and not just by reverse grid. So,
it's a good fun series to be in, actually. And
great series to racing, great series to watch, great series to commentate on. I mean, we had a lot of fun watching the races. Thompson, massive crash.
Goodbye. You got to get out of the loud pedal, mate, when you're in the gravel.
I think. Well, that's just put pay to that, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh dear, well that's the end of it.
As long as he doesn't put a comment on the chat saying, real cars don't do that. Because
I will. Oh no!
Goes
Chepelevsky! Oh no, it's all kicking off now.
Oh, Cheppy's in a Formula Ford now.
Jos Honig's up to second place.
Honig.
And he goes, yes! Oh dear, the Dutchman. Well, we've lost one Dutchman from the race, but the other one, he's doing a very good job.
Baxter up to fourth as well.
There you go.
Cheppy's pulling off to the
Baxter
side again.
Just absolutely cruising along. Thompson concedes defeat in that one. I think, and I hope Josh sees the funny side of this. But that's the appropriate way for Josh Thompson to finish the season, isn't it? Really?
I think so.
It is, with burying his foot on the throttle in the gravel.
Start as you mean to go on.
And stacking it into the tyre wall. Yes. We're sorry,
closing
Josh.
in on his teammate.
Sorry,
well, I tell you what, this is going to end up with Keithy getting a nice victory here. I mean, I don't want to tempt fate or anything like that, because it'd be nice for the champion to get a victory
and
on the final round of the season.
You know what? He's driven this last race.
We're not sure about Yalvaz. Absolutely rogered him.
Yeah.
From behind.
And when it turns
on the last
out,
lap or something like that.
And I partly blame the stewards for that as well, because if they'd have, no offence to Jack Keithley, because he's going to be a great champion of this series, and he deserves it, but he wouldn't have got the amount of, and yet he's come away with a big haul of money.
Oh, Stillion around again. That car's got no grip at all. He's trying
to come and do this series, and he's turned up to every single round. Going to end with a victory, and it's going to be his 10th win of the season as well. Because who knows, he might not have done this if he'd have been in the World Championship.
Probably wouldn't have done or put the same level of effort.
So up to clearaways for the final time this season, round 140, and Jack Keithley already the champion. He's from 9th on the grid. Well done, sir.
All the way to the wire with that one, Paul Denton, where is he? I know he's got damage, but here he comes. He's pushed his teammate all the way to the very...
And Roy Viverke third in the AM category. Is that prize money for him as well? Read out in the touring car broadcast on Thursday.
Be able to get word maybe from like Laura Bond, who looks after that side of things, with exactly on all those people that have done a or scored points. So
yeah, we'll see if we can get Laura on to go through the prizes.
Try and do stop. We've got a champion.
And you know what? Yeah, let's have a look at that. But you know what? I'm very, very proud to say that we've been able to give away over $5,000 to these drivers, and we did get some fantastic races as well. There were few and far between, maybe at the end of the season, but that he takes the final win of the year. Jos Honig in second position, 10.1 seconds behind, but he won't care. He's on the in fifth. He'll get third overall in the AM category. Rafe Cullinan in sixth. Paul Denton seventh, second in the AM. Tom Depke, let's not forget him. Third overall, massive one to end the season. David Waldock and Martin van Loosnord, well, they didn't get past one lap.
We need to get
here, and if you were here in January.
Great.
Yeah, and we've got to give a shout out to Adam Bath.
There we go.
key. After all that effort and all the races you've done every single round of the season. You must be absolutely over the moon with that.
These days, but yeah, I'm really, really ecstatic to finally win and get it over and done with.
One, where have you been? Also, wiped everything that had gone before.
To answer your first question, after the races, it was Martin, Samuel, Anton Higelin, Pash, and a few other people, and I knew I could have patience
at the start. They were fast guys were, overdriving the car. The slow guys were struggling to get to grips with it. You had a few retirements that weren't your fault as well, and then was that a conscious
first sort of 2 months of the season where in a 4 race meeting, at least 2 of the races, I would always have either a DNF or finish at the back be my season, because I know there'll be races where Martin has DNFs, and that has happened, and if I can just keep my nose clean.
Just looking at your
Fired once.
You only finished on the podium. You had 6 DNFs and a disqualification. That's the difficult situation.
Plows in the back of you, but I'm intrigued to your stat because I'm pretty certain I thought I went penalty free. Also, what happened with that? I got hit, and then I got a meatball.
With I'm sure we had that with some of the Northern Lights, the guys who. Is that obviously you missed out on the iRacing World Championship, and we all saw what happened. We were obviously broadcasting the series.
Beep, beep, beep from Nürburgring. But honestly, I haven't really thought much about this making up for it. It's lazy, doesn't it?
We would
Didn't think it was funny.
Probably not.
A teammate of mine. I mean, we never really had team all throughout the season. I'm not the kind of person where I can't be hiding. I say move out of the way. It's just if sleep. But again, big thanks to the whole team. Been great all season. And by the way,
Alex is with one of your teammates now, Stephen Baxter.
Hello.
Stephen, congratulations, mate, on the AM Championship. I'm still chatting them, but you weren't really racing each other for a while. We picked up on it didn't you? Well, congratulations. We'll have a quick word with your buddy.
Showdown, like before the showdown, race cars that I don't need to race around us, and think of the.
You've been in the commentary box this season, and 132 starts.
Just a touch too long towards the end, but great fun.
And the 95% finish rate. Only Roy Ververke, David Baker.
Just within my limit, and
get it together, man.
Jack didn't really think anything was. He also had that one DNF as well. So
yeah, exactly.
Which is what really